name is Melissa Shepard. I am in Professor Curry's EDU 330 class, and this is my Cultural Competence Reflection video. Cultural competence is the ability to understand, communicate with, and effectively interact with people across cultures. So, what does it mean to be a culturally competent educator? A culturally competent educator recognizes that their students come from different backgrounds, cultures, and different identities. Using these differences to discuss with and teach their students how to be open-minded when it comes to dealing with different cultures, biases, and diversity. Where do I see myself on the cultural competency continuum chart? I would place myself between a cultural pre-competence and cultural competence. I behave in a manner that demonstrates a value for diversity. I constantly examine my perceptions, behavior, and attitudes towards those that are culturally different than myself. I continually work to be inclusive and seek to develop cross-cultural knowledge by observing and asking questions. I definitely believe that I have areas that I could improve upon. For me to take the next step or to deepen my cultural competence is by getting to know my students in a more complex way. This means becoming more knowledgeable about the different cultures that are found in our school and the entire district, getting to know my students' families, and using active communication, not just for negative communication, but to learn about the students' likes, dislikes, hopes, dreams, and desires. Open communication is also a great way to learn about different beliefs in the families that maybe the student is unable to explain. This will allow me as an educator to modify my curriculum to best support my students' needs. To further my cultural competency as an educator, the first place I would start would be with any professional development, readings, or videos that are offered by the district that I work for. The next place that I would turn to would be the National Education Association. The National Education Association offers sessions for educators on how to work with families and communities to ensure that every student from every culture has the opportunity to achieve academic success. Another place that I would turn to would be my public library. Public libraries offer classes periodically on different topics, and cultural awareness is one. But you could also attend a class that revolves around a different culture than your own and learn about the specific culture. There are multiple more resources that could be used to further your cultural competency, but I would like to suggest one book to read, Can We Talk Race by Beverly Daniel Tatum. If you are going to choose one book to read, this is the one I suggest. I absolutely love it. We read it at the school that I'm currently employed at as a book study, and it was amazing. To have a culturally inclusive classroom, the students and the teacher recognize and appreciate diversity and use it to enrich the overall learning experience. In my future classroom, I plan to learn my students' names and how to pronounce them correctly. This is a big one. If you do not take the time to learn to say it correctly, the student could feel like it's not of any importance to you, and knowing their name is important to them. Every day there will be time that I will spend just talking to the students, not about school, not about grades, not about curriculum, but about anything that they want to talk about. It could be about their soccer game the past weekend, or one that's possibly coming up, or their favorite pizza or ice cream, or what their plans are for this coming weekend. Just taking time for one-on-one conversation to get to know them. I will also want to get to know parents. A phone call home to just say hi and see how everyone is doing, and give parents time to ask questions they may have, or get to know me better, ask just to feel open and ask questions about myself or about my education or anything. It will also be important to make sure I know my curriculum. If there is something that may upset a student, or if there is part of an assignment that may be against another student's beliefs, so that I can remove that from that assignment and not upset the student. I will remain as open and as inviting as possible with every student and their parents. The first step to respecting my students will be to establish clear expectations. I am going to respect each one of my students, so I expect them to respect not only myself, but each other. And setting these expectations from day one is the perfect way to get started. The next step would be to have a conversation about respect. What does respect mean? What does it look like? How do we show respect? Who do we show respect to? Why is respect important? Possibly even do a little role playing in groups and see what the students come up with what shows respect and what doesn't. Modeling respectful behavior in the classroom with my students and with other staff is important also. Kids learn from watching, and let me tell you, they're definitely watching us. Just be kind and inclusive of every student. The world is made up of so many different cultures, beliefs, and values. We can all become better people by learning and accepting each other just as we are.